Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We are talking Wednesday, July 2nd. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have my 4 favorite home run picks for you guys to lock in, along with 3 additional plays on top of that. So if you just want to lock in my favorites, you don't want to completely spray the board, you can do that. Or if you want to lock in everybody that I am playing, you can obviously do that as well. So pretty confident in what we have in store for today. Pretty nice dong slate once again today. To do a recap from yesterday, it was an interesting day. So James Wood, that game got completely rained out, postponed, refunded, got our money back. Nick Castellanos, same thing here. That game got postponed, refunded, got our money back. So Roman, and then the last one here was Roman Anthony. So this game started, but it did not finish. So we have not been paid out on this play, meaning we didn't get it refunded, but it also wasn't lost. They're going to continue that game today. If he hits a home run, then it will get paid out for it. But if he does not hit a home run, then we will lose our stake. So no decision as of right now. So if we're just looking at things as of right now, yesterday, thanks to Willie Adames, I should say, who did hit a home run. That one happened while I was asleep. That was very nice. We did slightly make money yesterday. We were up, as of right now, 0.13 units. Now, that includes nothing for Roman Anthony. If he ends up not hitting a home run today, which I don't like him as much now because I really liked him against the pitching matchup that he had yesterday. That's obviously not going to be the case anymore. So I would say that I'm not super confident in it. If he does not hit a home run, so this one ends up being lost, then we would basically break even yesterday. We would profit literally 0.03 units. We would, like I said, just break even. So we'll see what happens with Roman Anthony. I'll end up tracking that one once we have information. On the entire season, that now, didn't really do much to our results, but brings our total losses close to breaking even on the year, down about 2.5 units. On the year, down about 2.72% ROI. Now, if you're just putting 1 unit on every single play, you are up over 20 units just based on the way the odds shook out and everything like that. So those of you that are just putting 1 unit on everything and not really worrying about how I decide to unit size, you're sitting pretty. That's just kind of how things worked out. Granted, my unit sizes are tiny, so when I risk 0.1 units and profit 1 unit, those people are up 10 units if they're putting on 1 unit. So just to kind of show you the difference there and why the results are so dramatic between the two. Anyways, pretty confident in today. Again, we got a phenomenal weather game. Just a ton of games in the green across the board. Now, we also do have a bunch of double headers, and typically for me, double headers are stay away. Not because you're an idiot if you bet a double header, but just because there's so much uncertainty from game to game. Now, from a hitter perspective, it's not as bad. Normally, like if the batter bats, then that's just what's going to be the case. Normally, the difference is like how they utilize pitchers in bullpens and stuff. And maybe they'll give a batter a rest on one of the days, which if that happens, we'll just get that refunded. So I do have a play in game 1 of one of the double headers, but I'm sticking away from the other ones just to kind of give you guys a heads up. But a ton of green games, mostly agreement according to Weather Edge as well. The only big disagreement is they don't like the Philly game as much. They have both of them -7 as a weather perspective and then -6.7, whereas Ballpark Pal has Philly as +17 and +16. So pretty dramatic disagreement between the two. Other than that, they all like the same games. So something to keep in mind. We'll talk about that. The first play that I'm locking in here is a complete reroll from yesterday. I had Joe Adell to hit a home run yesterday. A lot of my analysis was based on the pitching matchup going up against the Didier Fuentes, which I now realize people call the Diddler, so that's fun. The problem is they ended up pushing Fuentes' start to today, meaning he did not pitch yesterday. So Joe Adell, obviously we're still tracking that as a loss, of course. That would be incredibly not honest if I did not track the result as a loss, but I might have still been on it. I told people to, don't cash out or to keep the play. So obviously, Joe Adell has just been on fire, but a lot of my analysis was based on Didier Fuentes. So for those of you that watched yesterday's video, a lot of this is going to sound familiar, so I will keep it short. Adell's on fire. 7 barrels over the last 14 days, 20 hard hits. Both of those numbers are A, very good in general, and B, lead the Angels. And yesterday, while he did not hit a home run, he had the hardest hit of the game, 113 basically, 112.9 miles an hour. Just that launch angle was like 3 degrees higher. This ball probably clears a fence. And Fuentes has only made 2 starts in his major league career, has gotten just pummeled in both of those starts. He's allowed 3 home runs in only 8 innings pitched, which is disgusting. Home run every 12.3 at bats, which is disgusting. All his numbers across the board. I mean, among the worst in baseball. 10.8% barrel rate is just terrible. 53% hard hit rate is terrible. And then the combined line drive plus fly ball rate of like 70%, disgusting. So all those numbers are terrible. And Adell's been one of the hottest batters in baseball. 14% barrel rate against righties over the last month. 54% hard hit rate, 31% fly ball rate. You look at the four-seamer, which is what he's going to see basically 60% of the time. 20% barrel rate, 68% hard hit rate, 36% fly ball rate. Now, that strikeout rate is somewhat high. It's not, I mean, anything above 25% is worse. 23% is above average. But still, he's swinging for the fences and he's hitting the crap out of the baseball. So even though he did not hit one yesterday, I still feel really good about going right back to him today, especially in the matchup that we really liked yesterday. So that's play number 1. Play number 2 is another batter that's red hot at the plate. We're going with Jonathan Aranda to hit a home run. And I should have mentioned the price on Adell was the same as yesterday. It was $375. So you got the same price as yesterday on Adell. As for Aranda, he is, for whatever reason, Fanatics isn't pulling. He's plus 380 on Fanatics, and then I would also take it at 375 at ESPN Bet. I'd even take it at 360 at FanDuel. But the best offered price is going to be Fanatics at plus 380. So the thing with Aranda, this is one of the best weather games of the day at Steinbrenner Field. 30% home run edge based on the stadium plus the weather. The reason the weather is so good is wind is blowing out, and this stadium is very receptive to wind. Now, it's blowing out to left field, which is going to help a ball from a righty pull hitter more than a lefty. But Steinbrenner Field has a tiny short porch at right field. So generally, Steinbrenner Field is a much, much better ballpark for lefties. As you can see here, just a tiny right field porch. Incredible home run conditions for left-handed hitters. So something to keep in mind. And Aranda is among the hottest hitters in baseball. You look at total hard hits. You look at in the entire MLB. Total hard hits. Guess who is number 4 with 24? That would be Aranda. He's one of 4 batters that has 24 or more hard hits over the last 14 days. 6 barrels is a healthy number as well. That's really good. The guy's just been tattooing the baseball. And even yesterday, he didn't start yesterday. So those of you that took him yesterday, that's brutal because he came in and pinch hit. I should say if you took it on FanDuel. But the ball that he hit yesterday was not a home run. He hit one 398 feet. And that was one of 2 at-bats that he had yesterday. The other one was also a flyout. Granted, he barely hit it, so that one doesn't really count. But yeah, 102 miles an hour off the bat, 33-degree launch angle. That's a home run. A lot of times, it was just hit to dead center field. But if he pulls it, that ball's going in the upper deck. So really, really good look for Aranda. The pitching matchup is okay. Mitch Spence is pitching for the Athletics, who really hasn't been bad. You look at him against lefties over the last 5 weeks. Home run every 26 and a half at-bats. Granted, a lot of these ancillary numbers are pretty bad. The barrel rate is high. The hard hit rate is high. The fly ball rate is low, but the line drive rate is high. And then you look at the entire year for him, it's a little bit worse. Home run every 22 at-bats. But similarly poor numbers across the board, with the biggest thing for him being the cutter and the slider. And Aranda has really, really good numbers against both of those pitches. Now, he's on fire in general. Both him and Brandon Lau are both hitting really well. But you look at the cutter, Aranda, 27% barrel rate, 60% hard hit rate, 30% fly ball rate, never strikes out. Just phenomenal numbers. You look at the slider, which is another home run pitch for Mitch Spence. And Aranda, not quite as good in terms of a barrel rate perspective, but a really good hard hit rate and a really good fly ball rate. So it's really good from a pitch mix perspective as well. A lot of factors in favor of Jonathan Aranda. I really, really like him tonight. Normally, I give you my 3 favorites. I actually have 4 that I'm considering my favorites tonight. So if you just want to take those, quarter unit on each of them, this is play number 2. Next up, we're going with Kyle Tucker to hit a home run. He is best offered on FanDuel at actually plus 420. This might have changed because I locked it in. It was plus 400. Let me refresh and see if that 420 is still available. Yeah, okay, 400. That's what I thought. So plus 400, best offer price on Kyle Tucker. That's what I got. That's what I locked in. That's what I sent out to my Tails account. So you're getting the same price that I got. So Tucker, the biggest thing for him is the pitcher that he's going up against, Tanner Bybee, is not a terrible pitcher overall, but there are 2 big issues for him. Number 1, he struggles more against lefties. He's allowed 9 home runs against lefties and fewer at-bats than righties, right? Like 23 fewer at-bats against lefties, but 3 more home runs. So his home run per 9, 1.83 against lefties is pretty bad. But his home road splits are really, really dramatic. Now, I don't really normally care a ton about home road splits unless it's for a batter and he has really good numbers, and like depending on the stadium, like someone in like Jonathan Aranda who has really good home numbers, that makes sense. His home stadium is great. For pitchers, unless you're pitching at like Coors or the Red Stadium, I don't care a lot unless they're this dramatic. Home run per 9, 0.64 at home, 2.05 on the road. And I mean, all his numbers, FIP, XFIP, are dramatically worse away. For whatever reason, the guy just can't pitch away, and he's pitching in Wrigley Field tonight, which is a pretty good weather situation at Wrigley. If you look, Wrigley Field plus 17% weather edge. From a home run perspective, the wind is blowing slightly out to right field, which is going to help carry. Granted, the winds aren't that heavy, but winds have a dramatic impact on the trajectory of the baseball at Wrigley Field. So no stadium is more impacted by wind than Wrigley. So slight winds are going to matter more. And I believe weather edge also likes the Cubs game as well. Yeah, 13.1% weather edge for them as well. So good game from a weather perspective, and we're going up against Tanner Bybee, who we already talked about really struggles against lefties. And to give you guys some more context to that, home run every 18 at-bats on the year against lefties. His last 5 starts, it's better every 25, but he's had some home starts. And again, he's been better recently, but on the road in a tough situation does not make me feel great about Tanner Bybee. And while the home runs haven't quite been there for Tucker, he's actually been hitting the ball pretty well. 18 hard hits over the last 14 days. 5 barrels is acceptable. They're not, Seiya Suzuki is really hitting the ball hard. If it was a better matchup, I would have gone with him. But Tucker is still hitting the ball well. 18 in the last 14 days. 5 barrels is a healthy number. You look at the last week, he actually leads the team with 10 hard hits. And then he's got 2 barrels, which is not amazing, but it's respectable. And then Suzuki's got the 4 barrels. So Tucker, this is more so backing a situation that I really like, as opposed to him being completely red hot at the plate. He's respectably hot, is how I would describe it. So that is our third play, Kyle Tucker. And then my fourth of my favorites, which again, I would recommend if you only take the favorites, put a quarter unit on them, is Gavin Sheets. I like him a lot to hit a home run. The biggest thing here is Mick Abel is pitching for the Phillies, and he had a really good start to his Phillies career when he pitched 2 gems in back-to-back starts. Recently, he's been terrible. Now, his last 5 starts, he's allowed a home run less than every 10 at-bats. Disgusting, bad, terrible, really, really bad numbers across the board. Over 11.5% barrel rate, 56% hard hit rate, fly ball plus line drive rate of 66%, and he's not striking anybody out. Really, 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 really bad. Even worse against lefties. He's allowed a home run every basically 7 at-bats, and you see all these numbers, a lot worse against lefties. Barrel rate, higher. Hard hit rate, higher. Fly ball plus line drive rate, higher. And the thing with the Padres is like nobody's really hitting that well. I really, really, really wanted to take Jackson Merrill. And I will say, Ballpark Pal loves Jackson Merrill today. They have him against Mick Abel as more likely to hit a home run than Aaron Judge. As much as I trust and like Ballpark Pal, I just could not get there with Jackson Merrill. But Gavin Sheets is hitting the ball pretty well. He's got 2 hard hits in each of his last 3 games. The barrels haven't quite been there, admittedly, but he is hitting the ball hard. You look at him against, or you look at the Padres as a team. Nobody has more than 7 hard hits, which kind of shows you how much they've been struggling. He is one of those batters with 7, which is fine. Merrill's only got 5. And in the last 14 days, it's a little bit better for Gavin Sheets with 18 hard hits, which is pretty good. Again, the barrels haven't quite been there, but he's gone on these runs from a home run perspective in the past this year. So I'm not super scared off of the lack of barrels. In the pitching matchup, it's just a dream situation against Mick Abel. And it's good from a pitch mix perspective as well. You look at him against the 4-seam fastball, which is what he's going to see 55% of the time, which is accounted for 3 of the 6 home runs that he's given up. And 14% barrel rate, 63% hard hit rate, 27% fly ball rate. The other 2 home run pitches are the curveball and the sinker. So you look at those together, and the barrels aren't there, but the hard hit rate is. And granted, it's a small sample size of at bats, but he's been hitting those really hard. He just hasn't quite been able to get any lift on it, except for really one, which wasn't quite hit hard enough. But good enough numbers for Gavin for Gavin Sheets, and the price on him I really like at plus 500. I think that's a really good price on him to hit a home run. Now, this is game one. I do want to be clear. This is against Mick Abel. So game one of the doubleheader is the play in which I like this one. But I do like Gavin Sheets a lot as the fourth of my favorites. Now, I do have 3 remaining ones that I locked in that I also do really like. I know some people don't want to lock in 7 plays, which I understand, which is why I give out my favorites first. I know people say I should save those to the end. I just think that kind of is sucks from a viewing perspective, and I'd rather just make it the best for everybody. But would appreciate it if you still did watch to the end. But the last 3, we'll go through it. So Brandon Lau, I told you we would talk about him later. Brandon Lau, I am taking to hit a home run as well. Ballpark Pal loves him. He is plus 400 at FanDuel and also at ESPN Bet. So that's the best offered price on Brandon Lau. I already mentioned the pitching matchup is above average against Mitch Spence of the A's. He's not terrible, but he's also not anybody that you really want to be scared of. And Lau isn't quite hitting the ball as hard as Jonathan Aranda. Granted, nobody is, but he's still doing pretty well. I mean, the hard hits haven't quite been there, but the barrels have. And his launch angle has consistently been high. Fly ball rate has consistently been high. So he's one of those batters that you can accept a little bit of a lower hard hit rate number because he's always putting the ball in the air. He does a really, really good job of hitting fly balls. He doesn't have as good numbers against the pitch mix, which is mainly the cutter, which is why I went with Aranda as my favorite over Lau. But in my opinion, both are worth taking. I mean, Brandon Lau against the cutter is still really good. 22% barrel rate, 71% hard hit rate, 14% fly ball rate. He strikes out more and the fly ball rate is lower, but still really good numbers against the cutter for him. So Brandon Lau gets the same weather benefits, same stadium benefits, just not quite as good from a pitch mix perspective. But again, absolutely worth taking in my opinion. I think both of them should be hit. Next up, I'm going with Corey Seager. So he's another guy that we went with yesterday that did not hit a home run. It's him and Adell are the 2 guys. Seager had a decent day at the plate yesterday. He didn't hit a home run, but if you look at what he did, double, 110 miles an hour off the bat, double, 106 miles an hour off the bat. So if you took him 4+ bases instead of to hit a home run, you cashed that out. So congrats to you. But that continues a really good run that Seager has been at the plate after a cold stretch of games heading into this. 21 hard hits last 2 weeks, 6 barrels, 2 really good numbers over the last week, 4 barrels, 10 hard hits, really good numbers. And the pitcher he's going up against, Tomoyaki Sagano, which sounds like a delicious dish, if I'm being honest. Tomoyuki really, really struggles against lefties. Now, he had a bad start to the year against lefties, and then he started pitching well, and then he's been bad recently. Home run every 12.5 at-bats to left-handed hitters is really bad. You look at him on the year, home run every 16 at-bats to lefties is really, really bad. The pitch mix perspective is interesting because he throws the splitter the majority of the time, and nobody's hit a home run off of his splitter, but all his other pitches get crushed. And Seager specifically has really good numbers against the 4-seamer. So it's not an amazing matchup from a pitch mix perspective. You want to take Seager against a guy that throws a fastball a higher percentage of the time, which is why he didn't make one of my favorites, but I do like Seager a lot from the matchup perspective. The odds on him are a little bit stinky. He's plus 315 at Fanatics, which I get, but with the way he's been hitting the ball and a pitcher that struggles against lefties, even though the pitch mix isn't perfect, I still think he's worth hitting, even at the plus 315 odds. And then the last one is right back to Nick Castellanos. I had him to hit a home run yesterday. That game got refunded. It's the same exact matchup. It's Nick Castellanos against Nick Pivetta, Nick on Nick Crime. And we're getting a way better price. If you look at Casty, he's $575 at Bet365. For whatever reason, the odds aren't pulling for this game, but he's $575 there. I would still take $560 at FanDuel. I would still take $550 at ESPN Bet. Ballpark Pal absolutely loves it. They have him as one of their highest rated EV plays of the day, which is good. Again, if you watched the video yesterday, a lot of this is familiar. The biggest thing here is Pivetta gets really hit hard by right-handed hitters, and it's his 4-seam fastball specifically that gets hit really hard. So we'll look at, I guess Nick Pivetta, for whatever reason, is not showing up here. I guess because he was supposed to pitch yesterday. So I'll have to pivot a little bit. But Nick Pivetta will show you. So his splits. He has allowed 2 home runs only to lefties, 9 to righties, and basically exactly the same number of plate appearances, which is crazy. You look at his home run per nine against righties, 1.89. I would show you his barrel rate. All these numbers are a lot worse against right-handed pitching than they are against lefties. And then the biggest thing for him, which I can show you here, is he throws the four-seam fastball about 50% of the time. And Castellanos has really good numbers over the last month against the fastball from a four-seamer. So you look at him against the four-seam fastball from righties, really good numbers. Now, he strikes out a lot because that's classic Nick Castellanos, but 14% barrel rate, 66.67, so 2/3 of the time, hard hit rate, and he's hitting fly balls. Nick Castellanos has been really good. I see no reason why to not go right back to him because he didn't play yesterday, and I like this matchup yesterday. So again, this is in game 1 of the doubleheader, to be clear. It's Adell and Pivetta in game 1, and that's all we got. So 7 guys for you to lock in to hit a home run. I'm taking all 7, but if you just wanted to take 4, it would be Sheets, Aranda, Adell, and Tucker as my favorite 4. If you do, put a quarter unit on those, but I'm tracking it as 0.1 units on all 7. And that's all we got. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.